Let's say you're bringing debt into the relationship and your partner wants nothing to do with it. Or your partner has the debt and they don't want to let you help. How can you come together as a team and fight this debt without causing any hard feelings? Hey everyone, I'm Dan Hines and welcome to Adulting with Money, where I help millennial couples unite, not fight, over their money. And today we're talking about how to deal with debt as a couple. If you're engaged or you're married and one of you has a lot of student loans or credit card debt, or your partner has it, or you're trying to just figure this out together, how can you come together as a team and work together and without causing any hard feelings? Okay, so I'm going to start with the easy one. And let's say you have the debt. You have the credit card debt, you have the student loans, and you're bringing it into a relationship and you feel that it's your responsibility, that it's your burden to bear, and you don't want to let your partner help with that, or you don't think it's their responsibility to help with that, but they want to help. They want to help you pay off that debt. They want you as a family, as a couple, to get out of debt as fast as humanly possible. So how do you deal with that? When you're thinking about debt and trying to pay it off together, I completely understand that. Hey, this is the debt that I brought into this. This was my choice. I will take care of it. The problem is, if you pay off that debt, at the very end, your partner is going to feel like a third-string quarterback whose team just won the Super Bowl. Do they get a Super Bowl ring? Did they get to call themselves a Super Bowl champion? Sure, but did they actually get on the field? Did they actually do anything? Did they actually help? And the answer is, well, not really. I mean, they were there. They were there with you and cheering you on the whole time, but when you go to your friends and family to say, hey, I got out of debt, you're saying you got out of debt, not we. And you're starting to steal that glory, I suppose, from your partner, and you don't get to let them in on the adventure with you. So if you have the debt and your partner wants to help pay that off, I'd say definitely let them help you pay that off and come together as a team. Because if you do everything on your own, and you're not letting them in on that adventure with you, that's what's going to cause the resentment. That's what's going to cause the hard feelings, is because they were there to support you. They wanted to help, but for some reason, you just weren't letting them. And that's where those negative feelings are going to come from. If you have the debt and your partner wants to help, but you want to do it on your own, how do you deal with that? Wait till the end of the video, because I'm going to give you tips for you and for the next situation that's going to help both of you. Okay, so on to the harder situation. What if you have the credit card debt, you have the student loans, and your partner wants nothing to do with it? They think it's your responsibility and you should be on your own for paying it off. Well, from a legal standpoint, they're probably right. Now, I'm not a lawyer and I don't give legal advice. So if you want to look into this some more, you need to look in to see if you're in a community property state or a common law state, and how your relationship deals with debt. So Google that. That'll start you down the rabbit hole that you need to start going down. But beyond that, on a moral, ethical standpoint, I don't really think they're right. I mean, if you're getting married, if you're coming together as a family, then you are accepting each other for who you are and what's going on. So the question becomes, how do you try to get them on board? How can you change their mind or influence them or try to convince them to say, hey, this is a thing that we should tackle together? Well, the problem is they're going to see all of that debt and helping with that as 100% pain. So as an example, so my wife really wanted me to clean out my side of the closet of just all of these old clothes and old college t-shirts and all this other stuff that I didn't wear, I wasn't going to wear, and they were just sitting, taking up room in the closet. But for me, I mean, I had plenty of room on my side of the closet. I could fit more clothes. And so I saw this project as a lot of pain for no apparent reason. There was no gain in it for me. And so what ended up happening is that we live in Florida. We got hit by Hurricane Michael. Fortunately, we got to live in our house as the repairs were being done. But to get new walls and new floors and a new roof is that we had to shift things around the house constantly to move stuff from one room to another so that room could get fixed, and then move the stuff to another room so that room could get fixed. And so by the end, I was tired of just moving my clothes. So what I did before everything was finished and we completely moved back back into our own bedroom is that I took the clothes and I separated them into Goodwill and Keep and some that just needed to be thrown away. And I did that because for me, it was saving me the pain of completely reorganizing my closet. When you're looking at debt, you could view it the same way, is that if you're trying to ask your partner to help you with that debt, they're seeing a lot of pain. They're seeing all this money going towards something that isn't necessarily creating more happiness. Now, you and I both know that if you're getting out of debt, that's a good thing. That's freeing up money to go on vacation or save up for a house or pay the house off faster or put into retirement. So getting out of debt obviously is a good thing to us, but for some reason your partner is viewing that as a lot of pain and no benefit. So if you want to come together as a team to pay off your debt, then there's got to be some sort of way to see a benefit. So for both situations, the beginning situation I talked about earlier in the video and this situation, here's my advice. Here are 3 major steps that you can take. Number 1 is communicate more and start to know each other. If you've heard of the Enneagram exams, you've got Myers-Briggs, you've got DISC analysis, you've got Strengths Finders, you've got the 4 Tendencies from Gretchen Rubin. There's all the 5 Love Languages. That's a great book as well. You've got all these personality quizzes and ways to start to look at each other and think about each other and figure out how each of you ticks. If you get to know each other on a much deeper level than just say, oh, you're a man or you're a woman, or don't fall into those stereotypes. If you know that you're an introvert and your partner is an extrovert, or vice versa, or you're both extroverts or you're both introverts, then that's a great thing. That helps you figure out, okay, this is how I tick. This is how my partner ticks. And once you start to have that knowledge, you start to have an idea of, okay, how can I influence them? Not manipulate, don't lie, but how can I influence? How can I start to find a win-win solution for both of us? And then step number 2 is to start doing your finances together. And it doesn't necessarily have to be budgeting, because I view the success of any relationship and finances as having three habits that you need to master. Number 1 is going to be goal setting. That's where all of your wins are going to come from. Because if both of you agree that yes, buying a house or having kids or getting out of debt is our number 1 priority. If you come together and decide that first, then the how of, how are we going to track our money? How are we going to budget? Those 2 things, those other 2 habits become your way of getting what it is that you want. But you have to first decide what it is that you want and then start to go after it. So if you haven't already, start to have money conversations about emergency funds and debt and retirement, but to just get the ideas from your partner. How do they think about this? What do they think? What is it that they want? And start to come up with a joint priority list. Okay, so then step number 3 is to decide what it is that they want. You know that you want to get out of debt and you would love help. But if you first know what they want, then you can tie your solution to their solution. So for example, going back to the cleaning out the closet, is that what I want more than anything is to have time to work on my YouTube channel, to work on my business, to help people. And so if I'm spending 2 hours of my weekend cleaning out a closet and it's not helping anyone, then it doesn't really internally motivate me. So if my wife wants to see a cleaner closet for whatever reason, then if she can spin it to say, well, if you clean out your closet, then here's all of these t-shirts that are going to help less fortunate people, I'll go, oh yeah, you're right, I forgot about that. And that's something that I want. And so then the project that she wants, they come together, they match. You end up agreeing to doing the thing that you want together. So one of the best things, going back to money, with paying off debt, is that if you can then say, well, honey, if you want to go fishing more or hunting, or there's a vacation you want to go on, or a car you want to buy, or a trip you want to go on, then you can say it'll be easy for us to afford that every year from now on if we get out of this debt faster. And so rather than you saying you're helping me with my stuff, you're saying we are paying off this thing so that we can go do more fun stuff later. And if you can explain it in that fashion, you're gonna have a better chance of getting your partner on board with helping you with your debt. If you love this video, be sure to click subscribe so that you don't miss my next video, which comes out every Thursday.